Right now, somewhere in your pocket, a small rectangle of glass is waiting. You already know this. You've felt it. A tiny pull, a low hum in the back of your mind, telling you to pick it up. And you probably think you understand why. You think it's boredom. You think it's habit. You think it's just modern life. But the real answer is far stranger. Your urge to check your phone isn't really about your phone at all. It's about a circuit in your brain that existed long before phones did, long before screens, long before any of this. It's a circuit built for something else entirely. And once you understand what that something else is, you'll never look at your lock screen the same way again. Start with a simple question. What actually happens in your brain the moment before you check your phone? Not after. Before. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz spent years studying this exact moment, though not in humans. He studied it in monkeys, watching their brains while they waited for a reward. What he found reshaped how scientists understand motivation. The brain's dopamine neurons don't fire most strongly when the reward arrives. They fire most strongly in anticipation of it. Dopamine, it turns out, isn't really the chemical of pleasure. It's the chemical of wanting. That distinction matters more than it sounds like it should. Wanting and liking are two separate systems in your brain. You can want something intensely without liking it very much once you get it. And you can like something without wanting more of it. Neuroscientist Kent Berridge, who has spent decades mapping these systems, describes wanting as the engine that drives you toward a reward, while liking is just the small flicker of satisfaction once you arrive. Your phone has learned to hijack the engine. It rarely bothers with the flicker. So what is your brain actually waiting for? Every time you glance at your screen, it's waiting for uncertainty to resolve. This is where the story gets stranger and where it stops being about phones and starts being about pigeons. In the 1950s, psychologist B.F. Skinner ran an experiment that would end up explaining more about the 21st century than anyone at the time could have guessed. He placed pigeons in a box with a lever. Press the lever, get a food pellet. Simple enough. But then Skinner changed the rule. Instead of a pellet every time, the pigeons got one only some of the time, on no fixed schedule. Sometimes the very first press worked. Sometimes it took 20. Something unexpected happened. The pigeons receiving unpredictable rewards pressed the lever far more obsessively than the ones getting a reward every single time. Skinner called this a variable ratio reinforcement schedule, and it remains one of the most powerful behavioral patterns ever documented. Predictable rewards create habits. Unpredictable rewards create compulsions. Does that sound familiar yet? Every time you unlock your phone, you don't know what's waiting. Maybe a message, maybe nothing, maybe a like, a notification, a headline that changes your mood for the next 10 minutes. Your brain has no way to predict which it will be. And that uncertainty is exactly the mechanism Skinner's pigeons couldn't resist. You are, in a very real sense, pulling a lever. This isn't an accident of design. Former Google design ethicist Tristan Harris has spoken openly about how many of the interfaces you interact with daily were built by teams who understood Skinner's research in precise detail. The pull to refresh motion on your social feed, the unpredictable timing of notifications, the infinite scroll that never tells you when it will run out of new things to show you. These aren't neutral design choices. They are variable ratio schedules built into glass and code, aimed directly at the wanting system in your brain. But to really understand why this works so well on you, specifically, you have to go back further than Skinner's pigeons. You have to go back before smartphones, before electricity, before agriculture. You have to go back to the environment your brain actually evolved to survive in. For most of human history, information was rare and often meant survival. A rustle in the grass might mean nothing, or it might mean a predator. A shift in a nearby group's mood might mean an alliance was safe, or it might mean danger. Your ancestors who paid close attention to small, uncertain signals in their environment were more likely to notice threats early and more likely to catch social shifts before they became dangerous. The ones who ignored ambiguous information didn't always get a second chance.